Hello everybody and welcome to TJ's Lego Room, and today I am very excited because it is the last update before the Razorcrest Mark II contest ends. And not only that, but if you guys are watching this the day of release, that means in less than an hour, LegoCon starts. So let's hurry and get through this so we can go and watch LegoCon, huh? I don't think I'm going to do like a live stream or anything to react to it, but you better believe that I'll probably have some stuff to say about it next week, all right? Anyway, before we jump into it, I have 4 mocks that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today, 4 entries into the contest, and I'm super excited to share those with you. I do want to give a quick thank you to everybody who supports me on Rubricable, not only monetarily, but actually just going out and checking out my mocks when I post them, because as of this week, I broke through the top 100 designers on Rubricable as far as the number of views that I have on my mocks. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it, and I'm super excited to do that. It was kind of a little hidden goal of my own that I really wanted to get into that top 100 designers. I actually want to get into the top 10 designers. So if you guys want to help me out by just looking through my mocks and seeing what's available, you guys are welcome to go through the link below. I know it doesn't really mean anything, but it is something really fun that I've been kind of working towards in the last little while. So thank you so much. I also want to give a special shout out to my my patrons on Patreon. It's the hardest thing to say. It's a very odd nomenclature there, but I want to thank all my patrons on Patreon. We had a really cool mock that somebody shared with me. It's based on Rocket's Warbird, but they did it in like the red and white Avengers theme. It was absolutely beautiful. That was really fun. And so I want to thank everybody on Patreon for doing that, and also helping me with a future project. Anyway, let's get into some mocks, shall we? All right. So first up, we have Daniel, who sent me some images of his mock. And oh my goodness, did a great job. The first thing that I thought of when I saw this is a lot of people made fun of the Razorcrest as being like a Star Wars minivan. And that's exactly what I thought when I saw this. It's kind of like a cross between the Trexler Marauder that we saw in Mandalorian, the Imperial troop transport, and like the Star Tours vehicle, which is awesome. It did a fantastic job. There's some snotting techniques in here, and I'll show you right now. He's got rotating engines, which, you know, I'm a sucker for rotating engines, so good job. Excellent design choice. I also think that it would make the ship very maneuverable as well. Especially, I don't know for sure if you just wanted to rotate them for landing, but I think if you would twist them the other direction as well, you could get some really sick maneuverability out of this ship. And then when we look at the front here, we obviously see that we've got a lot of cannons on the front, so that maneuverability will come in very handy when you're trying to get your lasers lined up to take some guys out. I will show you just one image of the internals. I'm not going to show you the back end. He's got some really awesome stuff in there. But just in the front, in the cockpit area, I really like how spread out it can be. A lot of times these ships can feel so cramped in their cockpits. I know part of that is because of the nature of Lego and how small it is, but I really like how it's got that wider feel that you would feel like if you were in like a cargo transport or a freighter or a shuttle of some kind. I'm always a big fan of giving your guys some extra elbow room, right? So great job, Daniel. Awesome. Next, we're going to talk about Elias, and Elias built this crazy contraption right here. The first thing I thought when I looked at it was, oh my goodness, what is happening? There's so much going on here. And as I looked closer and closer, I started to realize I had no idea how Elias put this together at all. Some of these angles are absolutely insane to try to get right next to each other. But Elias did a fantastic job of filling in those gaps that we so often see in official Lego sets. And I mean, even beyond that, the more I looked at it, the more little details and little pieces and greebles and stuff that I noticed. So an amazing job there. I also really like how, even though he basically took the main design of the Razorcrest, totally made it his own. especially even just with the shaping of the engines. I don't think I'd seen an engine shape quite like this before, personally. At least when I first looked at it, I was very appreciative of the ingenuity to change the shape of that. I really like the arm struts coming in on angles as well. That's really cool. Just did a fantastic job, and you can see from here that even the little teeny gaps between the plates, you can't see through. So there's more stuff behind it. There's layers and layers of bricks and plates in the way to make sure that the entire thing is very believable as far as spaceworthiness and making sure you don't have any gaps. I also very much enjoy this forward cannon, this forward turret type deal right here, using the TIE fighter piece. I have to admit as well, there are sometimes I'm looking at a ship and I have an idea in the back of my head for my own, and then I see your submissions and I go, oh, well, I guess I can't do that. And honestly, the TIE fighter cockpit piece being on my own Razorcrest Mark II was something that I definitely considered. And when I saw your submission, Elias, I said, I guess I won't do that. I don't want to seem derivative of you guys. But that's okay. You guys are more than welcome to use it. And then the last image of Elias's is just looking at this back end. And there's a couple things I loved. I loved the brick-made jetpack for the new Mandalorians that we got in the battle pack. The ramp here is very neat and uses so many pieces, but creates this really awesome shape. And you really feel like it moves and it adjusts and folds into place really well. And then I also wanted to call attention to the landing gear, because I can't do landing gear. And I'm always very envious of people that can throw these pieces together and have it just look really cool. And I can't get basic landing gear down. I guess we all have our trials to bear, right? Anyway, and obviously with the world the way it is, like, my trials are very, very easy to deal with in the Lego room. The next one up, we have Mustafarian. And Mustafarian has a video, and I will probably be sharing that at some point, probably at the end of the contest. And awesome job. I mean, Mustafarian, you did a great job. He called this ship the Feldo, which is fun. I always like unique names, and it wasn't... it's not something that I think I recognize, the name Feldo, but I look forward. I know a lot of you guys have sent the stories along with them. I have not had the chance to read them all yet, so give me a little bit of time to do that. But the Feldo here is pretty neat. I like how smooth it is in so many different places, but then it's also still got some texture to it. There's a lot of snotting that's going on in here, which I'm always a big fan of. And then the reminiscence of the Razorcrest is very easy to spot on this one as well, which is the cannons on front next to the cockpit, and then obviously the forward windscreen. Let's get some other pictures here. The greebles on the side look really good. They look like they're inset, like a panel would normally cover them, but the panel's been removed, so that was an excellent job. The laser cannons are just gigantic, and I think that's very reminiscent of the Razorcrest's laser cannons that do kind of feel tacked on, like they're an aftermarket edition. These feel very much the same, so that was a great job as well. We got the front of it. I do like the integration of both the windscreens on the side, the bubble windscreens like the TIE fighter pieces, and then the old Razorcrest piece right there upside down. Again, I'll echo what I said in the last submission review, that sometimes I was thinking of using a piece, and then I see one of you guys have used it in your contest entry, and I go, oh, maybe I'll try to think of something else. And believe it or not, the TIE fighter piece I mentioned in the last one and the Razorcrest piece in this one, we're going in the same place. So this is twice in a row that I had to kind of try to rethink and see if there was a different way to do it. Honestly, I'm still working on it, so I may end up still using one of these two pieces. And then we have a really awesome picture of the back end here. I'm sorry, I did have to screenshot all this stuff. Obviously, if you want to if you want to try to look it up, you're welcome to give it a try. You probably can find this one, as long as it's not unlisted. I'm not really sure on the privacy settings there. But the back end of it looks really good. It's definitely another part that I struggle with, is getting a nice looking back end to a ship. So props to you, Mustafarian. All right. And now I'm going to share with you guys this ship last. I know I probably didn't get the right pictures to do this justice, but that's what we're doing here on the Razorcrest Mark II contests with some updates. Is I'm not showing you all the coolest stuff, but this particular ship was done by someone I believe their name is Arnold, and wow. If I was going to give an award for the best picture that was taken, it would be from Arnold. Not this particular one, but you'll see it in just a minute. Because it caught me so much by surprise that I just sat and stared at it for a while until I figured out how they did it. But this is Arnold's ship. Really cool ideas. I like it how the top, he couldn't find a canopy, a windscreen that would fit over such a large area. So Arnold ended up doing what Technic does a lot of times and using the bars and pieces to give the appearance of supports for a windscreen that's not actually there. Fantastic job. I think that was a very clever way to do it. The cool parts that I'm just gonna keep forward because I gotta share with you guys the image. So let's jump through his pictures real quick. He did stage his minifigures outside in a few different ways. Landing gear again looks really good, of course. And believe it or not, if you look in the front, he actually has a hatch that opens up, which is the loading and unloading part. It's like a docking ring on the Millennium Falcon when the Falcon would come to the side of something and attach onto the sides of it. That's the same part that he had on there. Just as an aside, also something I tried to fit into my Razorcrest was a docking ring. So good job, you made it work when I actually wasn't able to for mine. I really like the integration of the docking ring here. I really like the internals of the ship, which are amazing, which I'm not going to show you. But I will have to show you this last picture. That I apologize, Arnold. I don't feel like I'm giving equal justice to everybody here. Daniel, Elias, Mustafarian, and Arnold. You guys have all done a fantastic job, so thank you so much. But I really just got to show you guys this last picture because, yeah. First time I looked at this, I immediately thought that it was photoshopped because I'm like, oh, it's his ship landing on some sort of a landing pad on a planet that has really tall grasses. Nope. This is, as far as I can tell, this is an actual picture, no Photoshop involved. As far as I can tell. I mean, maybe Arnold, you might need to correct me on that. But holy cow, this picture was so great. You found a really awesome way to display your mock here, and I gotta give you props for that. So he's actually holding the camera really low to the ground. They've got these little rock pedestals, rock podiums around apparently in this little field, and he just set his mock right on top of it and then got down low to the ground and took the picture, and holy cow, that was very cinematic and a very good job. I really did just sit there and stare at this picture and go, dang, too bad I'm not giving awards for just the best picture, because that was pretty sweet. You went to a lot of work to it. I love how a lot of the pictures were taken outside, and just very well done. So good job, Arnold. You definitely have an eye for taking pictures. So that's awesome. I assume you probably apply that in other places of your life, and I hope you do get awards for it somewhere. But unfortunately for us, we're on builds, and your build actually wasn't not too shabby. So thanks again to everybody who has participated in the Razorcrest Mark II contest so far. I'm having so much fun looking at your entries, and sometimes I'll be at work and I'll get an email or get an Instagram message or a Facebook message saying, hey, somebody wants to send a message to you. Would you like to see what they're doing? And I go, yes, I would, please. And then it pops up, and I'm always surprised because everybody's ship is different. And it's so cool to see that. It's so cool to see that everybody is using what they have. They're hopefully not going out and spending a ton of money to do this contest. That was one of the things I was trying not to do. But you're building with what you've got. I see really awesome techniques and really neat assemblage of pieces. Awesome parts uses. I'm just blown away by every single person who has entered this contest, and I really appreciate it. I think the only other thing that I need to do is give an apology to somebody that I messed up on, and that is Dale, who I featured on a previous episode of my show here. And Dale's entrance into the Razorcrest Mark II contest with a ship, I believe, that is called the Talon. I'm trying to remember that off the top of my head. And I mentioned specifically on Dale's, for some reason, that I didn't think that Dale got any help with it. Well, he did. Dale's son Evan helped him to build, and they built together their entrance into the Razorcrest Mark II contest, and I totally blew it when I was sharing it with everybody. I may even be blowing it now because it's just who I am. I make mistakes, and I hope you guys can forgive me. But Dale and Evan, thank you so much. I made sure to write down your contest entry. Contest entry is the two of you working on it together. So thank you so much. I hope this is a good enough apology to mark you guys out and to make sure I gave you credit, Evan. I'm sorry I missed it last time. Anyway, I think we're wrapped up. I think we're good to go. I think I have gone way over my time limit as far as your attention. Let's go and participate in LegoCon, shall we? And until we see you next time in TJ's Lego Room, play well. Bye.